Hello, warm-hearted people. Picture for a moment a bird cloaked in a gown of midnight feathers, each one scattered with hundreds of perfect pearl-like spots, walking with the confidence of a tiny feathered dinosaur across the sun-baked savannas of Africa, its bald blue head crowned with a curious bony helmet, its voice ringing out like a rusty gate, warning the entire countryside of approaching danger. Before we step into the astonishing world of one of the most ancient, loyal, and genuinely extraordinary birds ever fashioned by the Creator, please take a quick moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another journey into the wonders of the living world. Your support truly means everything, and it helps us keep sharing these magnificent stories with curious minds around the globe. The guinea fowl is a bird that feels almost out of place in the modern world, as though the masterful designer reached back into the deep history of the earth and pulled forward a creature still wearing the fashion of a forgotten age. Belonging to the family Numididae, these birds are native to the African continent, where they have roamed the grasslands, woodlands, and rocky hillsides for millions of years, long before human civilization ever took its first steps. There are several distinct species gracing our world today, including the helmeted guinea fowl, which is by far the most familiar and widespread, the stunning Vulturine guinea fowl with its long striped cape of cobalt and white, the elusive crested guinea fowl topped with a fluffy mop of curly black feathers, the rare plumed guinea fowl, the white-breasted guinea fowl of the West African rainforests, and the black guinea fowl, each one shaped with its own particular flair by the hand of the fashioner. At first glance, the helmeted guinea fowl looks almost comical, a plump, round body balanced on slender gray legs, a tiny featherless head painted in bright blue and red, and a strange bony casque rising from the top of its skull like a helmet carved from horn. Yet, this odd appearance hides a marvel of engineering. That bony helmet is not merely decoration. It is believed to help in communication by amplifying vocalizations, and it also serves as a form of cooling structure, helping the bird release heat in the scorching African sun. The bare skin of the head and neck, while it may seem unusual to our eyes, is another ingenious design by the all-wise Creator, because it prevents the bird from overheating and keeps it clean while foraging through dusty soil and tangled grasses. The plumage of the guinea fowl is nothing short of a living work of art. Across the dark slate gray or charcoal black background of its feathers, thousands upon thousands of small white spots are scattered with mathematical precision, each spot perfectly round, perfectly spaced, almost as if every feather were hand-painted by a patient celestial artist. This pattern is not simply for beauty. It serves as remarkable camouflage in the dappled light of African grasslands, where the interplay of sunlight and shadow through tall grass creates a similar spotted effect on the ground. A predator scanning the landscape may look directly at a flock of guinea fowl and completely miss them. So masterfully are they woven into their environment by the divine maker. Size-wise, the guinea fowl is a medium-sized bird, typically weighing between 2 and 4 pounds. Standing around 20 to 25 inches tall, and measuring roughly the same in length from beak to tail. They possess strong, muscular legs built for running rather than prolonged flight, and indeed, although they are capable of flying, they far prefer to use their powerful legs to sprint away from danger, often reaching impressive speeds across open ground. When they do take to the air, they burst upward in a sudden explosion of wings and feathers, fly short distances to escape a threat or reach a roosting tree, and then glide back down to the safety of the earth. One of the most captivating aspects of the guinea fowl is its intense sense of community. These birds are deeply social creatures, living in flocks that can range from a dozen individuals to enormous gatherings of 2,000 or more during the dry season. Within the flock, there is a clear social structure, a gentle hierarchy, and a remarkable sense of cooperation. They move together, forage together, rest together, and most importantly, they watch over each other with unwavering vigilance. When one bird spots a predator, whether it is a serval, a jackal, a python, or a bird of prey circling overhead, it immediately lets out a piercing alarm call. And within seconds, the entire flock joins in a thunderous chorus that can be heard from an astonishing distance. This alarm system is so reliable that other animals, including antelopes, baboons, and even farmers, have learned to trust it completely. A beautiful example of the interconnected wisdom placed into the natural world by the all-knowing Creator. The voice of the guinea fowl deserves its own special mention, because it is quite unlike any other bird call you will ever hear. It is harsh, metallic, repetitive, and astonishingly loud, often described as sounding like a rusty wheel, a chattering machine, or someone frantically shaking a tin can full of pebbles. The females produce a distinctive two-syllable call, often compared to the phrase buckwheat, while the males typically give a single harsh note. These vocalizations serve a multitude of purposes, from alerting the flock to danger, to maintaining contact while foraging in tall grass, to announcing territorial boundaries. What sounds like chaos to human ears is actually a sophisticated language of social coordination, every note carrying meaning, every rhythm carrying information. When it comes to diet, the guinea fowl is a true champion of the ecosystem, and arguably one of the most beneficial birds a farmer or gardener could ever hope to have around. They are omnivores, with an especially strong appetite for insects, and they spend their days methodically walking through fields, forests, and pastures, scratching at the soil and snapping up anything that moves. Their favorite foods include ticks, grasshoppers, locusts, beetles, flies, scorpions, small snakes, and spiders. A single flock of guinea fowl can dramatically reduce the tick population in an area, which has made them a favorite natural pest controller in regions plagued by Lyme disease and other tick-borne illnesses. They also consume seeds, small fruits, tender shoots, leaves, tubers, and grains, giving them a wonderfully balanced diet that reflects the thoughtful provision of divine providence. Their method of foraging is fascinating to observe. The entire flock spreads out across a field in a loose, moving line, heads down, constantly scanning the ground, scratching at leaves and soil with their feet, and pecking with lightning speed at any movement. They cover enormous amounts of ground in a single day, often walking several miles, and they do so with almost military discipline, always keeping an eye on one another and never straying too far from the group. If one bird finds a particularly rich patch of food, it may make soft clucking sounds that draw others in, demonstrating a generous spirit of shared fortune that many human communities could learn from. Intelligence is another quality in which the guinea fowl quietly excels. They have excellent memories, particularly when it comes to locations, predators, and individual flock members. They recognize familiar humans, remember which paths lead to safety, know where to find water during dry spells, and can even learn routines, often appearing at the same spot at the same time each day if they have been fed there before. Their problem-solving abilities, while not as flashy as those of crows or parrots, are practical and well-suited to their lifestyle, reflecting the precise and purposeful wisdom of the Supreme Maker, who tailored their minds to their environment with perfect balance. Guinea fowl are extraordinarily hardy creatures, capable of surviving in a wide range of environments, from hot, dry savannas where temperatures soar past 100 degrees Fahrenheit, to cooler highland regions, to humid rainforests. They are resistant to many diseases that afflict other poultry. They tolerate both heat and moderate cold remarkably well, and they need very little in the way of shelter compared to chickens. Their ancient lineage has gifted them with a robust constitution, a living testament to the durable craftsmanship of the originator, who designed them to endure. Throughout history, humans and guinea fowl have shared a long and intertwined relationship. They were domesticated in parts of Africa thousands of years ago, and from there they traveled to ancient Egypt, to Greece, to Rome, and eventually across the entire world. Today, they are kept on farms and homesteads across 6 continents, valued for their tick control, their watchful alarm calls that guard against foxes and hawks, their flavorful meat, their rich eggs, and their sheer personality. In many rural African communities, the guinea fowl remains a culturally significant bird, featured in folk tales, traditional ceremonies, and proverbs that celebrate its vigilance and loyalty. The Vulturine guinea fowl, found in the dry thornbush country of East Africa, deserves a special moment of admiration because it is perhaps the most strikingly beautiful of all the species. Its body is draped in long, lance-shaped feathers of deep cobalt blue, brilliant white, and charcoal black, flowing down like a royal cape. Its head and neck are bare and bluish, giving it the vulture-like appearance that inspired its name. Yet its body is magnificent, its eyes a piercing red, its demeanor regal. Recent observations have revealed that these birds form highly complex multi-level societies, maintaining friendships, alliances, and group identities across very large populations, a cognitive feat previously thought to exist only in a handful of mammals. Such sophistication in a bird is a humbling reminder of the depth of design woven into creation by the ultimate creator. Guinea fowl are also remarkably devoted parents and flock members. Young Keats, as the chicks are called, are born covered in soft striped down, able to run within hours of hatching, and they stay close to the adults who guide them, warm them at night, and teach them what to eat and what to fear. The whole flock often helps supervise the young, an expression of collective care that strengthens the survival of the next generation and speaks to the harmonious social design crafted by the Almighty. As the sun sets over the African landscape, the flock moves together toward their chosen roosting trees, climbing up into the highest branches where they settle for the night, safely out of reach of ground predators. There they huddle, calling softly to one another until silence finally falls, and the stars emerge over a world that has been cared for, shaped, and sustained by the Lord in every detail. The guinea fowl, in all its spotted, chattering, running, vigilant glory, is one small but shining feather in that boundless tapestry of creation. If you enjoyed this journey into the wonderful world of the guinea fowl, please take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more captivating explorations of the living world, and leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, your questions, or your own stories about these fascinating spotted wanderers. Thank you so much for spending this time with us.